The results are in, and Vision Party took the victory, winning a majority of the 50 seats up for grabs.
We've been saying on our Instagram it was gerrymandered the whole time, and we always knew it was. Off campus, we received about 3,000 out of the 7,000 votes, which means we got like 42% of the off-campus vote. 0 out of 37 seats. The map was completely changed the moment Change Party won. And I want students to understand that UF student government should be a place for all students to advocate.
Dude, it's a student government election. Are you serious? All right, folks, so I wasn't sure if I should actually do a video on this because it's not exactly a national news story, but the more I thought about it, the more I felt like this is something that at least some of you guys will appreciate. So, as many of you know, I am a college student. I go to the University of Florida, and last night we had our student government elections. And essentially what happened in the student government elections is that the liberal progressive party, they're called the Change Party. They were essentially founded as a social rebellion against Governor DeSantis and the LGBT CRT stuff. They're the woke party on campus. You basically get the idea. I don't need to explain that to you. Long story short, they got absolutely destroyed in a landslide. And the funny part is that it was actually looking like it might be a semi-competitive election. And I'll give you the reasons why, I kind of felt that way going into this in a second. But long story short, it was a landslide. They got annihilated. It was not even close. The final margin here was 40-9-1. So the non-political, non-liberal, non-woke party got 40 of the 50 student Senate seats. Change Party, the liberals, got 9, only 9, and then some random write-in candidate got 1 of the seats. So as you can tell, that's a super majority. They got absolutely crushed in this election. And certainly you love to see that. You love to see, even on some of these universities, the woke is getting some pushback. But really, that is not the main story of today's video. The main story is, and I want to react to this, the ways in which these Change Party characters at my school are coping about getting completely, again, destroyed in this election. And I kid you not, folks, the liberals are blaming gerrymandering for the reason why they lost. Okay? Yes, gerrymandering, that practice of redrawing congressional districts to be manipulated to one party or the other, they're claiming that the reason they lost a university student government election is because of gerrymandering. You're probably thinking to yourself, how does that even make any sense? Well, let's take a listen here, okay? Let's take a listen. This is the Change Party president talking about gerrymandering being the reason why they lost the student government election so badly.
We've been saying on our Instagram it was gerrymandered the whole time, and we always knew it was. Off campus, we received about 3,000 out of the 7,000 votes, which means we got like 42% of the off-campus vote. 0 out of 37 seats. The map was completely changed the moment Change Party won.
That's not gerrymandering.
And I want students to understand that UF student government should be a place for all students to advocate.
So really, future Democrats in training right here. I mean, you see it. It's actually kind of incredible to witness. These basically are the Joe Biden youth program because they're already being trained. Hey, if you lose an election, be an election denier by blaming it on gerrymandering. Surely it must be because of racial gerrymandering that you lost this random election that has absolutely nothing to do with it. But for argument's sake, I mean, really, I get it. We should probably just disregard this guy as a clown. Really, you're blaming a student government election on gerrymandering. By the way, who even takes a student government election that seriously? Okay? Okay. Anyways, but for a second, let's be a complete nerd about this because I want to actually debunk this guy and what he's saying. Okay? So, first of all, what he's talking about is the fact that in terms of the off-campus vote block, he lost it, but he should have gotten proportional representation or whatever. Okay, first of all, you heard it in his own words. He got 42% of the off-campus vote, meaning you lost a majority of the off-campus vote. And what happened here is that because you lost the majority of it, you didn't get any representation because it was a winner take all election, right? Whoever gets over 50% just gets all of the power there. Now, you can disagree with that. You can think that that's wrong. You could argue that, oh, it should be like a primary where you get proportional representation and you get this amount of delegates if you get this percent. Well, I mean, whatever. You can argue about all of that. You can advocate for all of that, I suppose. But fundamentally, that is not gerrymandering. Okay, that is not what gerrymandering means. Gerrymandering is when you draw a district manipulatively based on to favor like one party or the other. Gerrymandering isn't when the system is simply winner take all and 50% or whoever gets over 50% wins the election. By the way, that's how most elections work. Okay, so again, like you can advocate for this ranked choice thing or proportional voting, but it's not fundamentally unfair to have winner take all. Again, that's how most elections work. And by the way, it's a student government election. Of course, it's going to be winner take all. You know, let me ask you that. Okay, all you guys who are in school or you graduated or even you're older, think back to when you were in school. Do you ever remember a student government election being based on proportional representation? And let's see, if this candidate gets 30%, we're going to do it like Parliament where they get 30% of the Congress. And no, it's student government. It's a simple thing. Whoever wins, wins. Like, it's that simple, right? It's so ridiculous. These people are such a joke. But the even dumber part here, folks, is that what he's talking about is actually physically impossible to gerrymander. But before we continue this video, let's talk about your financial future. Folks, I don't need to tell you that the current state of things economically is quite unstable, and it's never been a better time to try to invest your money, which is increasingly unstable, into a time-tested and stable asset. And there is no better way to do that with physical precious metals. Forget the cryptos, forget the NFTs. What the heck is an NFT? By the way, did you guys see the news that they basically dropped to a value of zero? No. The best way to do so is by investing in precious metals like gold and silver. And there is no better way to do that than with our friends over at Noble Gold Investments. Folks, I know investing in precious metals may sound scary, but the team at Noble Gold will help you through it, walk you through it. Perfect, especially if you're a beginner, and will also make sure you don't get scammed by any random weird gold companies that sell those kind of gimmick coins or whatever. No. Our friends at Noble Gold Investments are proven with a 5-star rating from the Better Business Bureau, as well as countless 5-star ratings from customers like you. So with that said, be sure to go check them out. Do not wait to invest in gold. Whether you want to transfer large IRAs into physical gold and silver, you can do that. Or if you just have a couple $100 sitting around and you just want to maybe buy some gold, rainy day fund, whatever it is, all of the options are available for you with our friends over at Noble Gold Investments. So be sure to go check them out at vincedaogold.com. Again, that is vincedaogold.com, or dial the number 877-646-5347. They will talk to you. Check out our friends at Noble Gold. Do not wait. Because you're probably thinking, why is he even talking about gerrymandering? Are there districts in the student government election? Like, how does that even work? Well, in case you're wondering, my school actually does do kind of this district system in terms of, which seats go to which and whatnot. But what they do is they do that for on-campus students, right? So basically, every single dorm hall, residential hall on campus is its own little district. And I guess you could argue maybe there's a way to gerrymander that on campus. Frankly, I don't know how, because it's pretty straightforward. If you live in this dorm hall, you're part of this district. If you live in that dorm hall, you're part of that district. It's pretty straightforward. I don't know how you manipulate that, but at least maybe you can make an argument there. But in terms of the off-campus students, right, the people who live around town, they live in an apartment maybe, that's not how it works. It's all just one big voting block. Okay, so it's not drawn, oh, these people who live in this side of town are part of this and then that side of town. No, it's just if you're off campus, if you don't live on campus, then you're all part of one voting block. It's one physical thing. So how do you gerrymander that? You're probably thinking, how do you gerrymander that? Well, the simple answer is that you can't. It is physically impossible. This is the same exact below negative IQ argument that you hear Democrats make when they argue that you've heard this Senate seats are gerrymandered, right? The reason why we lost the Senate race in Ohio, I saw a tweet like this yesterday. The reason we lost the Senate race in Ohio is because of gerrymandering. No, you can't gerrymander one giant block of votes. You're not even drawing districts. How does that? But again, you know, like I said, Change Party here, I got to give them credit. They're doing a very good job. Future Democrats in training. Truly. I mean, it's fantastic, their ability to, first of all, deny the results of an election and then blame gerrymandering where it's not applicable at all. But, you know, as you know, they're doing a very good job here of being the Joe Biden youth. By the way, guys, I'm going to say this again. It's not that deep. Okay. Imagine running. First of all, who cares about student government? Frankly, I've never voted in a student government election until this time around because I wanted Change Party to shut up. So they actually drove me to the polls. So good job, by the way, guys. But guys, it's not that deep. You lost the popular vote among the student body. Okay. The majority of the student body by a pretty sizable margin did not vote for you. So what do you expect? Well, like, what do you really expect? Okay, again, it's not that complicated. But, you know, they're going to cry. They're going to deny the elections. I'm sure racism in the University of Florida faculty and administration surely just must be the reason why all of this happened. I have no idea. What I will say here in closing is that, and I'll be honest about this, people may think, oh, Vince, does this always happen? Was this supposed to happen? Yes and no. I'm actually pleasantly surprised by this result because, to tell you the truth, and again, this is kind of the reason why I actually voted in this student government election for the first time here, is because there was a lot of hype around Change Party. They were all over social media. I saw all these kids going, hey, Change Party, go, make sure you know. And I was honestly worried about them. Because really, what I was really worried about was turnout, right? And I've said this in the past. I don't think the majority of the student body at my school is, if not liberal, they're not really woke, right? I think most of the frat guys and the normal people at this school see Change Party and their politics as a bunch of dorks, right? They're just a bunch of nerds. But as you see in terms of the congressional elections here and the presidential elections, the political ones, I mean, you know, and how blue they are, it's a matter of turnout. And so I was kind of concerned in this. And the reason I actually voted again is because I was kind of worried all this kind of cast of nerds, right, would get all together and turn out to vote. No one else would. And so I was worried about it. And Change Party did gain seats last semester. They did well last semester in a student government election. So I'm not going to lie, folks. I was a little bit concerned. That's why I actually went to go out and vote here. First student government election I've ever voted in. But happily, you certainly love to see it. The liberal progressive woke party got absolutely destroyed. Now, to just give some context here, because I'm sure a few people here are curious. So you may be asking this question. So Vince, is it a liberal party and a conservative party? How does that actually work here? I'll tell you how it works, and then I'll tell you why this kind of does demonstrate. When we talk about how Gen Z is so liberal and a lot of people have this misconception that my generation is just overwhelmingly left wing, this is not actually necessarily that true. And I'll kind of explain to you how this student government election actually reflects that, which is that if you're wondering about the party who won, the party who destroyed the Change Party here is called the Vision Party. And all of us conservatives on campus vote for the Vision Party, but the Vision Party is not actually a political party, right? They actually are just kind of focused on student government stuff. They don't really comment on politics or wokeness or the diversity programs or any of that. In short, they're basically just the frat party, right? They're basically just the party that just gives money to Greek life and student activities, and that's about, like, they just don't really get super political. And I think that tells you a lot. Because what I think it tells you is that there's a lot of kids, not just at this school, but in this generation in general, who, even if they're not super political, even if they're not super interested in conservatism and politics and stuff, really fundamentally, more than anything, they wish the liberal activists would just shut up. They wish that all these wokesters and all these, I mean, kind of nerds, right? You know what I mean? They kind of just wish they would all just shut up about their diversity crap and their woke crap. And again, they're kind of apathetic, don't really care for any of that stuff. And as you saw, I suppose, in these student government elections, that silent majority of people who, even if they're not super political, kind of just rolls their eyes at the woke, at the change party types and all of that. When you actually get these people to vote, that can be very favorable to us, right? And so, as I've said in the past, I really think this energy of, even, like I said, it's not always necessarily conservatism when it comes to the youth, but really just anti-wokeness, kind of getting tired of these people, not really caring for these people, that can be properly mobilized on a greater level for Republicans, okay? I 100% believe, and I've shown this in the street videos and all this stuff, there's a lot of kind of, I guess, quote unquote, natural conservatism in our generation, or just a natural repulsiveness towards the other side, right? Because again, dorks, losers, freaks, that's honestly how a lot of the left-wing political types are perceived among normal people, among the young generations, and that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. It's just a matter of, do you actually get the normal, sane, rational people to actually turn out to vote for you, at least in the elections? Again, when that actually happens, you see the result you see, for instance, on my campus last night, where you win basically 80% out there. But again, it's a matter of actually turning out to vote. So the point of it is, once again, GOP, I'm going to say it for the millionth time. You need to have a turnout strategy for Gen Z. You need to actually have a way that you're going to mobilize young people going to the polls, because there's a lot more support than you think. And, a story like this, you certainly love to see it. And one last time to the Change Party, who is denying the election by claiming that gerrymandering is the reason why they lost. You guys are a joke, okay? You guys are a bunch of clowns. Thank gosh. By the way, I saw them. Okay, I'm not even going to say it, but they're basically claiming F the system. The system is rigged. I see them saying that all over social media, that their members. Guys, you lost the popular vote. What do you want? Unbelievable. Okay, anyways, with that said, folks, be sure to go check out our friends over at Noble Gold. And I'll see y'all next time. Alpha Moves only. God bless. Like and subscribe, and peace.